Manchester United fans, especially the OLEOUT contingent. Of course, OLEOUT trending since about the 25th minute of the game. Not happy with the performance, not happy with the game plan, and the lack of energy in the last 20 minutes will certainly, absolutely certainly be frustrating to the Manchester United faithful. There is no doubt about that whatsoever. Hugely frustrating indeed to what she's going to feel like a loss to most Manchester United fans. Of course, you have to give credit to Southampton. They performed very, very well in this game. They performed very, very well. I don't think you can get away from that. I don't think you can, take away their performance. That would be very, very disrespectful indeed. But Manchester United just not good enough in the cold light of day today. Some moments of brilliance, the likes of Paul Pogba. Of course, young Mason Greenwood, very, very good in spells, but overall, simply not where you would want to see or how you want to see Manchester United performing. There's no way, it just cannot be. You can't defend it at all. Very, very frustrating as a Manchester United fan myself. Now, in terms of, the overall look of the season, that you don't start writing things off right now. Sancho's still got to be integrated into this team. But I actually felt from the moment Sancho came on, the team kind of lost its way a little bit. They didn't seem to be, the plan wasn't cohesive. We lacked energy in that middle for large parts of the game. And MOTM came into the fray, but I think he came in for the wrong person. It should have been Matic that went off, who I thought had an average game by any standard. We needed more energy in the midfield because the likes of Ward-Prowse, the likes of Romero were absolutely running the show in there. They just had more legs. And I've said this before with Man United's midfield. When we don't have Paul Pogba in there, we always lack something. There's either a lack of passing ability, there's a lack of mobility. And today it was the mobility element. And Matic really stood out like a sore thumb. We got the equalizer, though, and you think Man United are going to come on strong here. Man United are going to come back. Man United are going to get themselves back into the game. And it simply didn't happen after what was a very, very promising start. Some great blocks from Salisu. Is it Salisu? Is that how you pronounce his name? I mean, he made some amazing blocks to keep Southampton in that game. So, yeah, Salisu. Excellent performance from him. Of course, Livarmento, who Southampton have just gone and bought from Chelsea, an excellent display from him as well. So you're taking nothing away from Southampton. But of course, this is the terrace and we focus on the top six performances. Simply not good enough. Simply not good enough in any way, shape or form. Martial today, terrible performance from him. Completely invisible in that role. And that I put on Ollie. Ollie changed the winning team from last week. Ollie changed the winning team. It didn't work. I know that McTominay was forced because of an injury. But we should have kept the same team as best we could. It worked with Greenwood through the middle. He spent a lot of his time today in those central areas as well. He's where he wants to be. Yeah, just overall not good enough. Simply not good enough overall today from Manchester United, from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But I want your views. I want your opinions on this. Whatever platform you're watching on right now, smash that like button. Please retweet this as well. But Man United flop. OLEOUT trending. Points dropped early on in the season. Let's see what you're all saying. We're going to get Connor on soon. KJ's backstage as well. If you want to phone up and have your say, there is a link for you to come in and do that. The link is inside our notifications group. You can join our notifications group by clicking on the link in the description. I'm also going to post the link now. And hopefully, if YouTube isn't letting me pin... Oh, there we go. And I'm going to pin it to the live comments section as well. So go and get the link from our notifications group. Get signed up to that now. JP here says, told Man United fans not to get too excited over the Leeds win. See what happens when a team actually defends. United still need a striker. Well, I get you on that. Do you know what, though? I felt Man United made the opportunities today. I felt like Man United had, 3 or 4 good opportunities blocked. We had chances. There was a header from Bruno Fernandes. If you actually look at the game and you break it down, 15 shots in this game. The problem was only 4 of our attempts on target. Look at the chances created in this football match. 11 chances created. The vast, I think all but one of them were in open play. It was about clinical edge today. And yes, there were some good blocks, but we just weren't quite at it. And it was more so the frustrating bit for me was the lack of energy, the lack of tenacity at certain stages in this game. But I totally hear you there. Jerome says, good night, Terry. Man United should be winning this game while Spurs were very, very lucky to get 3 points. And of course, in the other game that was on at the same time, we're back to the normal proceedings now in the Premier League where you're getting games clash with one another. Spurs pick up their second win of the season. Of course, a bit of an interesting one for Nuno playing against his old team, but Spurs pick up those 3 points. That's 6 from 6 for them. And, not very many Spurs fans would have probably guessed or anticipated getting that kind of start to the season. Kevin here says, are you kidding me? Matic, you need to watch the game again. Fred couldn't pass. Own goal again. No Donny van der Beek. Disgrace. I understand your problems there with Fred. You obviously didn't listen to what I was talking about. It's not so much the passing element. We didn't have the legs. Matic gets, as soon as people with some energy and tenacity and a little bit more speed than him come into the play, Matic struggles. He's past it. He's physically past it. Technically, barring Paul Pogba, he's the best midfielder we've got. He is, but he doesn't have the legs anymore, He's like, he reminds me of watching an old boxer. You can get an old boxer and he gets in the ring. Very good boxer. He's still got the punch power, maybe. He's still got the technique, but he's just lost that speed. He can't quite dodge the punches quick enough, and he can't quite land them with the same timing. That's when I look at Matic now. He struggles in those areas for me. Remember, if you want to phone in, the link is in the description, in the comment section and in the description. So get yourself dialed up and have your say now. Trying to look at some of these comments here. They're coming in thick and fast. Maria Williams here with a super chat says, come on, you Spurs. Shame about Man United. Terry, absolutely. I hear you on that one. Terry, are you doing call-ins? Yes. If you read the link that's pinned in, go into the notifications group and get the link. That's where we're sharing. Do you know why? A lot of people ask me for links. And last weekend, I spent about 20 minutes sending links to everybody. So I'm going to put the links in one place that everybody can go and get them. So go join up to the notification group now. The link is in there, ready for you to call in and have your say. The link is in there, brother. We'll be taking your calls momentarily. I know a lot of Man United fans have got a lot to say about this game. I want to hear from you right about now. Oh, my God. Matic and Fred is what's being said here. Listen, it didn't work today. It was a very poor decision. Leaf here, of course, Liverpool Spurs fans says, give Nuno time. It's not easy to go from defensive to attacking in 2 games. We were not lucky to win. It's true, Wolves dominated us. But as a Spurs fan, for the last 10 games, Wolves dominated us. Yeah, but you won. Listen, I'd have rather Man United played half as well. United weren't brilliant today. I would say a 6 out of 10. But I'd much rather us have been a 3 out of 10 and win than a 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10 and get a draw or lose. Like, you got to pick the points up. The early stage is about getting those points picked up. I've said it and I'll stay true to myself. You can't win the league in these opening 10 games, but you can be out of the title race very, very quickly and very, very early. There's no doubt about it. Angel here says, Terry is right. Matic was MIA. Ahmed, one of our members, says there has to be a discussion about Martial. He looks the same as last season. I think Anthony Martial was very, very poor today indeed. Interestingly, Martial and the OLEOUT are celebrated the most about Martial starting and Matic starting. And they were our 2 worst performers today. I don't know what's up with Anthony Martial. He just looked lackluster. He a couple of times he had the opportunity to size up a defender and go at them. Take them on. Give it a go. And he just didn't do it. Chelsea, please win by a big scoreline and bring a smile to my face as I wake up, is what Jerome says today. Jason says, let's close a great day with an Arsenal win, is what Jason has got this. Remember, we're live after Arsenal-Chelsea, so make sure you're tuning into the Football Terrace. If you're watching over, by the way, Facebook is in front of YouTube on likes. YouTube, let's get this past 1,000 likes. Facebook, let's get this past 1,000 likes, please. Make sure you've all shared this stream across your social media platforms as well. Tony here says, absolute shit. Matic, Martial, Lindelof, shocking. Yeah, Lindelof very, very poor as well. And there was moments today where you just saw where we need Rafael Varane. We just need Rafael Varane to be that deep line centre back. Allow Maguire to push forward. Maguire, when he's left on his own there and he gets sized up by someone with pace, we know he's in a little bit of trouble. And there's something not quite right today. Look, it's early stages of the season. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. We shouldn't get carried away with winning last week like we're going to win the league. Equally, we shouldn't be throwing baby out with the bathwater and saying, that's it, season over after a draw. But you have to call out the poor elements. Ollie got his starting lineup wrong today. I think he got his substitutions wrong in terms of the order and the players of which that came off. And there was something not quite right. The second half of both halves, Man United died, they went away. Maybe it was the pressure of the away fans. Maybe it's the early season kind of lack of fitness that's creeping in. Of course, we're missing Rashford. Of course, we're missing Cavani from this team. Of course, Sancho and Varane are not kind of fully integrated yet. That's 4 top-class players to come back into this setup. But I would expect a little bit more from us today, especially after we equalised, because we were in the ascendancy, and it was really disappointing that we didn't capitalise on that. Tyrone here says, this is why I want Ollie to stay at United. Keeps you just good enough to keep everyone honest, but never going to be a serious guy. Still early, though, is what Tyrone's got to say. Listen, a lot of Man United fans agree with you on that, Tyrone. Nabil says, slept 2 hours last night, just woke up to watch this crap. Ollie isn't learning anything from last season, to be honest. Sell Donny van de Beek because you won't use him. Again, I agree with you on that. Donny van de Beek most certainly should have been a player that came on, that got involved, that was involved in this match. He simply has to be. Remember, if you want to phone up and have your say, the link is in our notification group. You can get that. That comment is pinned to the live chat, so you can go and get that right now. Varane would have made 0 difference today. I'm going to go to calls in just a moment, but I disagree with you that Varane would have made no difference. And I'll tell you why I disagree with you that Varane makes no difference. That's because if you've got a solid foundation at the back, you can progress the ball further forward. I felt we were nervous at times today to push our back line up because they actually have Armstrong's no slouch. They had Theo Walcott on for a time. Che Adams is quicker than all of our defenders when our fullbacks push forward to attack. With Rafael Varane there, you could keep Maguire on the ball that's very talented, allow him to progress and go forward. You've got that defensive speed in behind so that we don't get caught on the break. That security gives you more confidence when going forward. At times, I think Varane would have made a difference. Equally, I think Varane is the best defender at our club. He'll be one of the best defensive leaders at our club. And we were really sloppy in conceding that goal. Yes, some people think it was a foul. I don't personally think it was a foul on Bruno Fernandes. But everybody was asleep. I think the level of Champions League Varane means that goal maybe doesn't get conceded in the way in which Manchester United did. Comment here that says bottlers. I understand why you would say that. United flopped today. We weren't good enough. Not good enough. Ginger Fury says, why buy Varane and Sancho when you don't start them? I mean, come on. Poor team selection. Today, Donny van de Beek just handed a transfer request. It frustrates me. He's here and we don't use him, is what Ginger Fury has got to say. So another big talking point when got a mini panel today of KJ and Neeks. We're bringing Connor on. Connor's coming onto the show very soon. Now, if you don't remember Connor was one of the original cast members and panelists of the Football Terrace when we used to do live streams to like 8 people. It was Connor, and there was Brian, and there was a few others. He's actually grown up. He was really young when he used to do it. He's a proper man now. It's kind of weird seeing him. You know, when you see the child star as an adult years later, that's what it's like. It's going to be really cool. Eric here with the super chat says, Ollie fancied Jesse Lingard over Donny, purely favoritism. Sharik says, poor leadership. We were playing slow. Midfield battle lost. Piss poor passing. Great subs, but chances weren't taken. Matic was extremely slow and we needed players in that position rather than buying another wide player. So a lot of criticism there of buying Sancho and not a midfielder. Maybe today's an eye-opener. There's still a week to go in the transfer market. What do you want to see happen, Manchester United fans? Terry, my super chat. Did I miss your super chat? I'm very sorry. I'm going to go back and see if I can find it. Sorry, I found it, my bro. Terry, that was a fair result. It's a fair result in terms of how both teams played. Neither was miles better than the other over a 90-minute game. But fair result isn't what fans want. Like, for me, you probably have some Southampton fans that think, why didn't we... When Southampton took it to Man United, they put us under pressure. So why did they go through large periods of the game where they sat back and absorbed us? The irony was, when they were on the front foot, we barely laid a glove on them. So today was like the reverse of Man United. Normally when teams open up against us, it's where we exploit the space and slap them. Today it was the other way around. We were actually breaking them down when they were sitting defensively. As soon as they attacked, we didn't have, and that's the bottling element. We didn't have the courage to get at them. Hugely, hugely frustrating right now. Facebook, smash your like button. YouTube, smash the like button. I'm bringing on the panelists now. KJ and Neeks are coming on. We've got Josh and Connor backstage we're taking calls from. Keep those super chats coming in as well. And have a go at guessing my man of the match today. Livarmento, Greenwood, Pogba, or Adams. Who do you think I'm going to pick as my man of the match today? Any Spurs fans want to phone up as well? Please feel free to. We will speak about your game. I didn't watch it, so I can't comment. That would be really unprofessional for me to try and wing it like I watched both. I didn't. What's your thoughts on Spurs playing Harry Kane? A lot said we didn't play him as he's defo leave it. Did he come on? I don't know. I literally don't know what happened. Did he come on as a sub? I wouldn't read. Did he come on? Yeah, he did come on. 72 minutes. I wouldn't read too much into it. He can still go. He can still stay. That deal is on like Donkey Kong. It really is. Everything in the holding midfield at Man United needs to be revamped. They won't get you to the promised land, is what Kyle says. I hear you on that. It's time to bring the panel on now, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do this. All right, Jen. That's why I pressed the breaking news button. It was meant to be the have your say, but there we go. Disappointing performance, KJ, from Man United. Even more disappointing result, really. Give me your thoughts.
Yeah, I'm not overly annoyed, to be fair. Like, it's one of those games where I look at him like, right, second game of the season, we had some really good spells, and that's where the annoyance comes for me in terms of we had good spells, we couldn't capitalize on these spells, and we need to get better at that. And then Southampton in that second half, obviously they scored that goal, which was honestly a freak goal. Like, flipping Fred's legs aren't long enough to fully block that shot, so it deflects and goes in. But we get the goal back, and we was on top of them. But it was then when Maguire lost the ball because he was being lapsadaisical and he was being complacent, that started Southampton's momentum to go into like actually coming back into the game. And those moments there are what frustrate me the most. It's like, why are our players getting so complacent? Yes, we were bowling, we were strolling, we had swagger for those like 20 minutes in the first half, but you got to keep that up. You can't just assume that the other team are going to give up. Like, you can't just be strolling on the ball and being like, oh yeah, nothing's going to happen to me, I'm fine. Or if something does, I'm going to get a foul. Like, no, you have to always be switched on. And United made our own problems today, and that's what it was. It's like the first goal, it's not Bruno's fault, because you can argue if it was a foul or not, but he got that. The reason why he was in that position because he was too calm, too relaxed. He should be more alert to someone coming in. Harry Maguire, too calm, too relaxed. Lindelof, similar situations. Fred, Matic, so many situations where we put ourselves in danger because everyone was too calm, too relaxed, and we just need to make sure we're switched on and we are serious. Because look at our attack. Our attack today had some brilliant moments, and we just need to give them the foundation to go on and do what they want. So yeah, like, we need to fix that midfield. We need to invest in I would say a midfield 2, not just a 1. We need 2 midfielders to play double pivot. Yeah, man, we need 2 midfielders to play that double pivot. And then the defense, we need to run in there and just everyone just get switched on and be assured.
Yeah, I hear you on that. How about yourself, Neeks? I mean, in terms of review of the game, there's a lot of people screaming Anthony Martial's performance not good enough. Donny van de Beek should be playing. OLEOUT, of course, trending as soon as he's seen. I mean, people are actually calling me out because it's mentioned in the title. It's like, where's trending, bruv? It's literally what's trending out there right now. What do you make of all those claims? Do you think it's right to criticize Martial this early, not using Donny this early? Are they fair shouts from fans?
Well, I say that it was definitely a big surprise that Lingard came off the bench instead of Donny. Now, obviously, what they offer in terms of players is different. Lingard is very much a runner. His movement, I mean, Donny's got good movement, but he's not as athletic as Lingard. So obviously, that is what Solskjaer preferred. But 2 games in, did Donny come off the bench against Leeds? I don't think
I don't think so.
I don't remember it coming off. So 2 games in, he hasn't played. You're thinking in your head, like, is this going to be deja vu? That's the real issue. If he had played, say, for example, a few games last season or more games, him not playing the first 2 games isn't going to be a massive deal. But it's like, are we seeing the same pattern as last season? I think that's the biggest thing there. I wasn't expecting Lingard to come on because I'm thinking Lingard's going to be sold. I'm hoping he's going to be sold. Martial, again, it's the second game of the season, so I'm not going to go in. You know, he hasn't had a brilliant preseason. I think he played 45 minutes against Everton. That was pretty much it. But he was poor. He offered nothing for 60 minutes. I mean, he came off about 58 minutes in, offered absolutely nothing. And I'm not saying Greenwood is the perfect striker, but you see the difference, or you saw the difference with Greenwood through the middle compared to Martial through the middle. And it was chalk and cheese, which is so disappointing when you consider the ages of the two and even how long one has been playing up front in terms of Martial compared to Greenwood. Greenwood's been playing right wing for the majority of time at Man United. Yeah, you put him through the middle and you see the difference. Of course, he gets his goal, and he should have scored another. That header, I mean, that from Fred Cross. I don't know how he missed that. He didn't make the run across the 6-yard box when McTominay crossed it. So there was a lot of chances that we had from first right through the game up until maybe the last 10, 15 minutes of the game where we just gave the ball away time after time after time, including, of course, Maguire losing the ball and them having that great chance. But we kept setting off their attacks in the second half. The first half, they had a good 10-minute spell, but we had enough chances to win the game. 60-odd% possession, 3 big chances. Pogba had a great chance on his left foot, skewed it wide.
Yeah, that Salisu brother was
line. Like, it was a lot going on.
Always
we should have won the
way,
game. We should have won the game.
Yeah, no, look, with a better side than them, it was just, you know what, like, I'm not giving excuses. There's definitely mistakes been made today by Ollie. At the same time, I've seen a number of teams do this over the last couple of weeks where they've had lulls in the game. They've had periods where they've sort of faded out and not quite been at their, like, potent, energetic best. And what I really saw today was what a home crowd could do. The home crowd, just when they were up, you saw Southampton get their energy. We saw it at Old Trafford last weekend. Leeds United are renowned for being the most energetic, the fittest team, barring maybe Liverpool in the Premier League. And yet there were times last week where none of it. That was the whole build-up to the game against Leeds was, can Man United outrun Leeds United? And we did. But what helped us is our supporters dragging us forward, and those things they're all apart, which is why
our away supporters are very good today as well. You could hear them.
Yeah, they were loud. You know what did it for me though? The Ollies at the wheel tune came back, and from the moment that did, I was like, okay, now.
Oh, did it? I missed that.
Yeah, he came back, and I was like, no, my brother, stop singing that song, fam. It's cursed. It's cursed.
But Terry, you said Ollie made a lot of mistakes. What mistakes, obviously it's plural, are you saying that he's made other than not bringing Donny on? Because I said, for me, we created a lot of chances and we didn't take it. We didn't take them.
So I felt like, so for me, first mistake was starting Matic. I know a lot of people call for it, but understand. I mean, everyone calls for Matic to start. I actually saw people celebrating he was starting. And then when they found out it was because Scotty was injured, they were actually then triggered by that. Weirdos, freaks. But for me, it was like Matic gets overrun because he ain't got the legs anymore. That was mistake number one. Starting Martial and breaking up that winning front three from last weekend when you've had a whole week's break. We don't play again for another week. We haven't got midweek games. I felt was a mistake. So that's mistake number two. Matic should have been the first player to come off. That was mistake number three for me. Donny should have come on instead of Jesse Lingard earlier, in my opinion. That's mistake number four. So I think those are the four that really stood out to me today. And again, it's hindsight. You know, if Jesse Lingard comes on and bends one into the top corner, we're all celebrating. We're all enjoying the game in relation to that. But from my point of view, I don't want to see Matic and Fred. Matic and Fred starting in central midfield together is the weakest combination at this football club.
Matic and
really...
anyone.
Sorry?
I said Matic and anyone. I'm just going to be honest. Like, preseason games and everyone's screaming, start Matic. No, bro, the man's finished. You can clearly see it. The man is not got the legs.
Hindsight's a great thing, as you said, because before the season started, people were calling for Matic and Donny to start the game against Leeds. And you're like, look at Leeds. Look how much Leeds run compared to Southampton, and look how much Matic struggled today.
Brother, I honestly, when I read people saying those things, I think to myself, are they pushing? Do they think, one, Ollie's weak enough to read their tweets and change his mind? Maybe. But do they actually... I sometimes feel like they're trying to will it into existence. If we start against teams like Southampton and Leeds or Leicester with Donny and Matic in the middle, we are they're gonna run through us like diarrhea.
I agree.
Have yourself Derek Chisora. They'll run through us because it doesn't matter about the technical ability in the Premier League when the people you're up against are also very technically gifted, but they've got the speed and the power over you. And that's what goes wrong with Matic. If Matic was 5-6 years younger, he'd be dominating our midfield. He simply isn't. We've got to stop living in the past with him. So is Scott McTominay as talented on the ball? No. But he doesn't get overrun in the same way. And yes, I know what the overarching answer is here. We need to buy a central midfield player. And I know everybody's calling that out. That's it. But until that person comes, this Matic talk has got to stop because we saw some good passing from him, good moments from him. We just saw the weaknesses in his game today massively. We're going to go to some calls now. Anyone's got any super chat questions, get them in. Please smash that like button for us, though. Chelsea sack their club legend and go on to win a Champions League. This club needs to grow a pair. Mediocre manager is what Tina Shi has said there. Nicole says, why can't we just buy a damn, I think it meant to say a damn CDM. Why are they stubborn? Are they stubborn, blind, or dumb? We need a DM. Blue Viper says the Glazers got Sancho and Varane. We sell football shirts. It's a snake move and it's worked. Where's the Glazer out protest gone? The
resistance still here, baby.
That's what Blue Viper said, who's a Manchester City fan. JP here says thoughts on Livarmento Chelsea buyback clause. Yeah, he was excellent today, wasn't he? He looked very, very good at right back or right fullback, whatever he was positioning, he was playing for Southampton.
Yeah, very good.
18 years old?
18, yeah.
So they had Reece James, Tariq Lamptey, this Livarmento
yeah.
Stack that right back, isn't it? Like England.
Stack. I mean, it's ridiculous how talented. I mean, you've got very, very good indeed. But of course, very clever club Chelsea. They've got that buyout clause in there. So should at any point, I don't know, Reece James not work out, it's a very quick, it's like a plug and play. Do you know what I mean?
It's going to be, he looks very talented, and it's going to be interesting to see how he plays like going forward, because he's gone to a club where it's like he will play it looks like he's going to be the starting right back for them. So that's going to be only good for him, and we'll see how he goes. He looks very excited, and fair play to him today. He was excellent. Yeah,
absolutely. Right, we're going to go to our first caller of the day. We're going to get young Connor on, back on the football terrace after many years away. Smash that like and share button. You want to phone up, you can. The link is in our notification group. Go sign up to that now. It's all free. No spam. It's just notifications of videos and the links for shows being kept in there. Let's do this. Connor's back with us. Welcome back to the terrace, mate. What do you want to say?
It was average today. We were very below par. I thought we were sloppy from moment one. Like the first 5 minutes here, we're pressing. Lindelof and Maguire looked so slow, especially Lindelof. But I guess Varane's there to come in for him, so that might not be a problem going forward. But there were times today when we were out on the wings. We lacked in number 9. Martial, even Greenwood started coming out to the left in the second half when he went at centre forward. And Martial throughout the first half, every time we got out wide, there was no one in the box to hit it. There was no target man. There was no one to cross to. We were hitting balls in and there was no one there. It was really frustrating to watch. Matic, like it's being said to death by all three of you, Matic and Fred just not a good combo. Matic looked overrun today. And we do need a DM. Like, fair enough. If McTominay can play 20 minutes or half an hour as Solskjaer said at the start of the game, why can't he start? He can't be that bad of an injury if he can play half an hour, 20 minutes, whatever he plays. And I thought Solskjaer learned at one point because he brought in Sancho after 55 minutes.
Yeah.
But then he left the last subs. Lingard came on the 87th minute. He's leaving subs too late again.
Yeah, I mean, did you feel they were too late today, Neeks?
I maybe would have made a second. I probably made a third one earlier. But the first one coming at 60, at some point you have to give, I think it was a 1-1 at the time, you have to give the players on the pitch the opportunity to actually win the game. I think the second one came at 75, or maybe we brought it about 5 minutes earlier. But, I mean, we asked him to make the subs earlier. He makes a sub earlier, and it's like, okay, but all of them's not as, and it's never going to be perfect for everyone. Some people say, oh, no, why didn't you give XYZ a few more minutes? We didn't win the game, so obviously the timing of the substitutions weren't perfect, or we would have won the game. But I wouldn't put the reason we didn't win it. I'm not saying you're doing this. I wouldn't say we're putting the reason down to us not making the subs earlier. Maybe the choice of subs, i.e. bringing on Donny van de Beek, which I was expecting to come on rather than Lingard, that may have made a difference.
Oh, it's also Matic getting onto the 85th, like Terry said. He should have been the first one off. Or Fred should have been Fred. It should have been for the second one, Matic. But yeah, it's leaving him onto the 85th. You know, we need, like Terry said, we needed legs in there. Fred brings that energy and legs into that midfield. Like him and Scott, it worked last season. It worked against Leeds, but yeah, it's just frustrating overall.
Yeah, it's just one of those ones where, like, if we don't take Matic out, if we don't play Matic and we play McTominay, we're losing some technical ability on the ball, which again we also need that in the midfield. So our double pivot combinations between Fred, Matic, and McTominay, those three all lack something when they're together. And you know what? Even Van der Beek, because if Van der Beek plays in the pivot, we lose defensive structure. So this is why I say we need two. This is what we need to. We need two midfielders that complement each other. Because if Paul Pogba is no longer going to be in the double pivot no more, we need two midfielders for that foundation and that base for our attackers to do what they're doing. Because when we are actually pressing, when we're actually on the front foot with the ball, we look dangerous. So that is why when I'm sitting here now talking, like, I'm not overly vexed. I'm like, there is something there that can be worked on. We just need to get in the right players. I don't think we're going to do it this transfer window, but as time goes on, we need to get in the right players. We need to improve on the ball, and we should be good. The players, like Ollie is what Ollie is. Like I've already got my opinions on him. I don't think we'll win the Premier League with him, but the players also need to take some responsibility of the way that they're playing, because today, too many sloppy passes from too many players that shouldn't be doing that.
This is it. We can talk about the manager till death. He signed a 3-year contract. But other than Martial, I mean, we had other chances in the game. There was other players on the pitch that I didn't listen to the intro that we haven't mentioned. And I'm like, your job is there to create. Your job is there to score. And just because you score one in Mason Greenwood, there comes a point where, okay, one is not enough. If you're the striker, you need to score two. You need to score three. And I'm not going to say he's the reason again, but there's also 11 players plus 3 subs on the pitch that need to go out and do the job. And we gave the ball away so many times in the last 15 minutes. Does Ollie have to go onto the pitch and pass it for them? Like, when does the responsibility come into
absolutely. There were definitely some player performances today. And you mentioned that. I mean, Luke Shaw towards the end of the game, needlessly giving the ball away. And even though Greenwood's great, he got the equaliser, he had a header from 6 yards out that he should be burying. And even the shots and opportunities we had that they blocked. So there was, the first one we had, Lindelof misses his header when he should connect. I'm not still to this point sure if it was Maguire or Pogba that got onto the ball at the far post. They should have done better. You then had the situation with Martial, should be getting more on that. Pogba then had 2 shots blocked. And you can sometimes argue, oh, well, it's good defending from someone. But, maybe that was a little bit unlucky. But Greenwood should be finishing his chance. A little bit unlucky when it came to Bruno's header that was kind of half saved, but it was just times where we didn't do things. There was a moment in the game that Scott McTominay is getting crap, but he got the ball on the right hand side, he squared it, and if you actually watch at first in real time, I watched it and went, why has he crossed it when no one's there? And then you look back from the other angle, and when he picked the ball up, neither Bruno or Paul Pogba made a run.
They didn't move. They just stood there.
And that goes on them. So there was lots of individuals that made mistakes today, and that isn't down to coaching. That isn't down to systems. That was down to me. The players lost something today, and it was this was when it comes down to being a passion merchant. There was an element of fight and determination missing, and I don't know whether the home fans sapped it out of us. Maybe there was a lack of fitness at times. They were just feeling it a bit too much. I don't know what the answer is.
I think some of the players. I think KJ mentioned earlier. Some of the players got a bit too cocky. We got the equalizer, and it felt like they felt, oh, we're going to go win the game now. A few flicks, a few little... And I'm like, go and win the game. Forget all of that. And we didn't get the goal in the next, say, 20 minutes. And then Southampton's like, all right, maybe we got a chance. And yeah, listen, when you're on top, you need to take your chances. And both in the first half, and then after the equalizer, we're on top and we don't take our chances.
Yeah, there was that moment, wasn't there, from Paul Pogba. And he went to play... I don't know who he was doing it with. It may have been with Jadon. Sure. Where Shaw puts the ball into him. Instead of a simple pass back, he tries a very extravagant
Yeah.
And it was those little moments, and Pogba wasn't the only one. It just stands out in my mind where you're thinking, keep it simple, keep playing, keep moving it well. And yeah, it just didn't quite click. But look, United didn't lose. We did come from behind. We didn't lose the game. And it's, it's not time to throw baby out with a bathwater. Connor, I really appreciate you coming on, mate, and having your say. Top man. Great to have you back on the terrace again, mate. Thank you.
Thanks.
Cheers. Do you know what's interesting as well? There's an Arsenal fan in the comments that said, you lot don't have the same energy when it's Arsenal that lose. Bruv, we didn't finish 8th last year. Like,
and we didn't lose.
Scenarios when it comes to things here. Cold Water says we won't challenge titles with Fred and Martial. There are times that Pogba is looking for Martial to pass. The man is ice cold, literally making zero runs. Yeah, the lack of movement from Martial is... Do you know what? It's one of those things, boys. My example to Martial's lack of movement reminds me of life. When I was younger, Leighton Stonewell, been to Chopsticks before, Neeks?
No, I haven't.
To Chopsticks, it's if anyone doesn't know, it's an all-you-can-eat Chinese buffet opposite the Barclays branch. Lovely. Literally £5, and you load that plate up as many times as you want to. It's magical. Absolutely magical. Tastes all right. Until you get a bit older and you start earning a bit more money, you start then to eat nicer foods in nicer places. I went back to it like 4 years after not eating in there, and I had paid the £5 and I ate it, and I could taste the cheapness of the food. Like £5 for all you can eat clearly means they're not using like the best ingredients, right? I mean, it's whatever they're using, it isn't like top notch. And I noticed it. And that's the problem with Anthony Martial. We never used to notice Martial's lack of movement as we do now because we've been watching Cavani, and you then see it, you then feel it. Your eyes are then open to what it really looks like in your team. And he is just so static. And look, it's his first game of the season as well. So, of course, he's going to be given more opportunities, and he may deserve that. But if this is a sign of things to and my fear is this: if he's playing this badly, you know what then comes next? Martial FC then come for all the other players to try and create that equilibrium, and that's what I'm nervous about.
Well, the reality is, this is his last chance. He's had too many up and down seasons as opposed to consistent season after season. He had a bad season last year. He has to have a good season this year, whether it be off the bench and making an impact that way, or starting games. And Solskjaer's not going to waste any time getting Cavani into that team as soon as he's ready. So this is the time where Martial has to take this opportunity.
I honestly think if Cavani starts this game, we win the game.
Yeah, I agree.
I
we needed his movement. We needed his movement.
Well. We're going to go to Josh that's called in. I know a lot of people obviously getting themselves off to watch the Arsenal-Chelsea game that's begun. But Josh is here. What do you want to say, Josh?
Oh, I don't know what everyone's problem with this game is. I mean, I saw a few positives out of it. I think, unless someone wants to fact check for me, I think we equalised the most unbeaten away games as the Arsenal Invincibles after this.
We did.
Yep. So it's not all bad. I mean, I agree with what you're saying. I think everyone got a little bit too cocky. It's almost like they were expecting the goals to come for them. That hunger and that drive sort of just plateaued once they got that equaliser. But big shout out to Livarmento. He's my man of the match out of the game. I think he performed really well. He's definitely one to watch out for. And Chelsea's shrewd business, having that buyback clause, I think is very good. But I think this just shows that we're not the completed article, but it's not. It's only second game of the season. There's still going to be some kinks to iron out. And yeah, I'm not overly concerned with it. At least it wasn't a loss, basically. So yeah, that's where I stand on that.
No, I totally agree. Josh, thank you very much for calling in, mate. Short and sweet as we're going to go and gear up for the Arsenal-Chelsea game now. Thank you very much indeed. And everyone that's tuned in today, only a 40-minute show because, of course, we all want to go and watch this big game that's on now. We are live at full time. We will, at the back end of the next show, talk more about the Manchester United game. We'll talk about Tottenham's game. We'll round up the weekend's football on there as well. Got a really good panel coming on to have their say. So make sure you're back with us. Smash that like and that share. A lot of you are still asking for the link. Please read the pinned comments. It's literally why we pin them there, so that we don't have to keep reposting. Get yourself into the notification group chat and get yourself signed up to that. The links for everything are going to be posted in that notification group chat. There's no spamming. No one else can write in there. It's just in there for you. But until next time, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll